Hello. So I wanted to do a update video because, wow, that was horrible grammar. Great start. I want to do an update video because it's been so long since I've uploaded a video, and for some reason I keep getting subscribers. Very small amounts, obviously, but I feel like people might care about how I'm doing, so I just felt like letting you guys know. So, the last updates you guys got were where I'm having like a panic attack and talking about my problems at work and showing you what it's like to have a panic attack, because with CPTSD, what I have, that's common. Those have gotten quite a bit better. So I wanted to get into my job situation because the reason I haven't been uploading is because a lot has been happening. It's been really hard for me mentally to get back into making videos, even though now I have the time. I was working 60 hours a week, which I did say in one of my videos previous, the one where I dyed my hair. I explain at the end. I go on like a little rant and explain that I'm working way too much and I'm about to move, and I do live in a new place now, so I'm really happy about that. But I was working 60 hours a week, right? And it was manufacturing, and it was really messing with my hand, which is already arthritic, and I was trying to conceptualize how I would ever get out of manufacturing work and what that looked like. And I was getting all these crazy ideas at work because I was there pretty much like for most of my days. It was 10-hour days for 6 days a week. So mentally it was very bad for me, and all I could think of were ways that I could make money without killing myself, if that makes any sense, because mentally working jobs like that is very bad for my mental health, and also now I'm realizing my physical health. So I mean, I don't know how I ignored both for so long, but hasn't been good on my mind, and my family hasn't helped either by drilling it into my brain that money is all that matters and happiness is like kind of something that you don't really have to worry about. And it's very important for me to be happy since I do have complex PTSD. I can get bouts of depression and it gets very bad, and I aspire to, one, get through it and not let it take me down like it has so many other people and so many of my friends recently. I've had 2 friends in the last 2 months kill themselves. So it's very important to me to improve and to educate people on what goes on mentally for people who suffer with PTSD, depression, anything really that leads to depression. It's very important for people to understand, because I see it on a day-to-day basis. People who've never suffered from depression or anxiety, they don't understand, and they act like it's very hard to understand, and it shouldn't be, because we're all human. We should have empathy. We should know. You know, you can't just have empathy for certain things and then not for depression and anxiety. It's not something that's made up. It is something that you can't really see. It's not like I have a cut on my face whenever I have depression, you know? Like, I don't know how really to explain it, other than through my writing, which you guys know if you've watched my other videos, I'm writing a book where it just has a lot of my random thoughts and thought patterns, and I find a lot of the things I write help explain what's in my head. I don't know how. They can be interpreted in many different ways, but it's really weird and interesting how randomly hopeless I can feel. And I know that that's not right. I know that, you know, I'm having these feelings for no reason. It's just how my mind works. And I'm getting a lot better at it. And the first step to getting better at it is actually noticing it. Nobody really realizes that until they start doing self-work and working on themselves. You don't realize when you're talking bad about yourself, when you're saying like, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I wish that I had never, you know, things like that keep leading to more negative thoughts and lead you to not love yourself, and the depression gets worse. So the best thing for me has been realizing when I'm doing these things and realizing when I'm having these hopeless feelings and this disassociation that doesn't really make sense and I shouldn't be feeling. And I hate to say this, but I always think it, quote unquote, normal people aren't dealing with this on a daily basis. They aren't struggling to leave the house. And it really makes me think, and it's not leaving the house, it's having confidence in myself, I think, is the main problem that I struggle with. I'm sorry if this video is all over the place. I'm kind of forcing myself to make a video because it's been so long and I really just want to get back into it, and a major symptom that I get is, sorry, I live on a really loud street now. Okay, I literally just had to pause and look back into what I was saying. One symptom that I really have pretty bad is that I get writer's block, but it's not just writer's block, it is like creator's block, and it comes with like just mild depressions. I kind of shut off, and I don't really, it's like I really want to figure out my lifestyle and how I can have a career and be happy at the same time. And I know that that is with YouTube, and that is with the internet, and that is with making art, and that is with helping educate people and helping others understand themselves and heal, like I am, slowly but surely. As I'm figuring out what I want to do with my life, and knowing that I have so much faith in myself that I can succeed in making videos, and I love doing it, and all this stuff, I'm also completely blocked in my head. Even though I live in this new place, it's big, I'm by myself, I should be making so many videos. I had a huge list of video ideas that I actually lost. It's another reason that I ran into writer's block. My phone totally malfunctioned and I lost. I'm sort of an idiot and never backed up my notes or my photos or a lot of stuff. So one, I lost all of my video ideas that I had in my notes, as well as a few chapters that I had written for my book. And I also lost many parcels of videos that I was working on. So that really put a wall up in my head creatively, and I've been trying to get past it and still haven't been able to, because I was talking about me working 60 hours a week. Sorry, I lost track of what I was talking about. I'm gonna get better at scripting my videos, I promise. But right now, I'm dealing with, I was working 60 hours a week, right? Mentally, it was getting pretty bad. I was very sad, and I never had any time for myself to wind down when I got home, because I was working 10 hours straight, and I lived 30 minutes away from that place, so it was 11 hours out of my whole day. I have a dog. She was not okay with me working that much. I didn't give her any time, because I could barely give myself any time. I was not eating. I was smoking like a chimney. It's another horrible thing. I was smoking cigarettes. After I had quit, I started again. And it got to the point where I had so much faith in myself that I could succeed, not only spiritually. For some reason, I have like this huge idea that I can somehow be like a spiritual healer, or I can somehow be a healer in some way, because I have so much light and love in my heart, and I am not healed enough to be able to spread it yet, and that's a really hard thing to swallow. And I probably could have afforded to go to therapy, definitely, but I didn't have time. Like, there were so many different things that I couldn't do because I was working too much, and the money didn't matter to me because I had no life, I had no soul, I was being sucked dry. And this was right when the Black Lives Matter movement started, and all I could think was that I want to be at these protests, I want to spread messages. I, as a white person, feel like I could say so much to help other white people understand that they're privileged and how messed up all of this is if you just open your eyes and understand how corrupt America is and has been. And all I could think about was just like the pain inside of me for not being able to do anything about it. And not only that, but just I was working at a medical parts production facility where people were not very clean and they were making medical parts. It was very disturbing. Working manufacturing jobs is already disturbing. Working a medical parts facility job during a pandemic, very disturbing. It was hard for me. And so I knew that I could save up for at least 1 to 2 months rent. And I did. I had the plan that if I put my 2 weeks in, I would definitely get my paycheck just on time to have at least 2 months rent. So I would be set to find a new job or to figure out what I was going to do or just to make more YouTube videos and do what I needed to finally to take care of myself and my dog. So I put my 2 weeks in, and it was very, very scary for me. I wasn't sure it was right, but my gut was telling me that it was right and that I needed to because my mental state was suffering so bad. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't feel okay. And my boss was not talking to me at all. It was very awkward. I would text my boss about multiple things that he just wouldn't reply to, and then he would literally avoid me on the floor. It was so, like, as somebody with a mental illness, being ignored is so difficult. And even if it's not being ignored, it's like not feeling listened to, not feeling heard. Like, I've said this before, I don't know where. It feels like a lot of the time I'm screaming into a void of nothing. And I'm saying things that are so important to my soul and mean so much to me, and they probably are minute and won't mean anything to me in years, but right now it feels important. And when I say things that aren't received well or aren't received at all, it's makes you feel another level of lonely that you already were feeling. It's intense and it's scary to have like, your boss is supposed to be the one person who listens. I don't know. It was just weird. And it made me feel more isolated and more not appreciated at that job. I did a lot of work there, like, very much, to help them organize, and it was such a mess of a place, and I was literally their backbone for so long. So I put my 2 weeks in, and my boss did not care. I had questions still because I didn't know how the 2-week process was going to go and what they were doing with their business, because they apparently were switching around the schedule all in all and weren't telling anybody. A week after I had put in my 2 weeks, they completely dismantled the night shift, which is what I was on, and they fired me. They had everybody from night shift go on to day shift, apparently, and they fired me, even though I still had a week left in my 2 weeks, because they just didn't want to deal with me. And no, my boss did not fire me directly. It was the temp agency I worked through. So, very awkward. The first time I didn't cry when I was laid off because I had already put my 2 weeks in there and I was very unhappy, and it was clear. It was very weird because the day I got fired just happened to be the day after I had talked to a janitor the night before when I was at work. I stopped him and I was like, "Hey, is your company hiring?" He was like, "Yeah, they are actually. Why?" And I was like, "I need a new job. I just put my 2 weeks in." And he gave me their company's name and told me I could use him as a reference and everything. And so I applied just then when I was at lunch. And literally I got fired the next day and got a call that same day from that janitor company. So I immediately started working part-time as a janitor. Now I work 5 hours a night, 5 days a week. And it, funny enough, is too much on me mentally and physically as well. There's a lot that comes with it, including a giant vacuum that I have to wear on my back that almost weighs more than me, and I can barely control with my weak arthritic hand that is now just getting worse because of the odd angles that I have to use this thing, and I have to figure, like, I don't think these vacuums were made to be comfortable in any way for people, and yet they're making people, janitors, use them every single day. Like, I have problems with everything, I guess. Don't listen to me. Sometimes I just feel like I complain way too much, but at the same time, I don't feel like anybody deserves to be breaking their own back to make money for themselves. And I especially know I can't do it to myself anymore. So that's where I'm at right now. I've had over 2 months now to start making more freaking videos and to start kicking myself in the ass, and I haven't, because my mental state has been still in turmoil. My rent is way too much, and my part-time janitor job isn't even paying it. So it's really been scary, and I feel like I could be doing so well if I wasn't like so worried about money and so worried about like not making the next rent payment. And if I could stop being so stuck on worrying about all that and just start actually being creative and doing all of these things that I planned. I literally had pages and pages of video ideas. And also I planned and still plan to make a podcast, to the point where I bought a podcast microphone. It is literally music grade. I can make music with it. Another thing I want to do is make covers, make songs, make videos, make like music videos. And now I have a microphone that I literally haven't even, like, the writer's creative block that I have has prevented me from even attempting to sing into that microphone. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like I don't feel good enough. I don't understand my computer well enough yet. I'm still editing on my phone, and I have a block in my head that is like not letting me transition into editing on my laptop, which isn't even my laptop, so maybe that's why I'm like nervous to start getting into it when I'm scared that it's gonna just be taken away from me. I'm not used to being given stuff, and so I don't even know what it means. I don't know. I've been sitting in front of a microphone that I planned to make a podcast with. I told myself I would start my podcast in September, and I made myself believe that. And then I also had pages of podcast ideas as well, where mostly I plan to educate people on PTSD and the stories that I have and the things that I deal with on a daily basis and the things that have helped me, like just so many things. I could literally go on, and it's not just going to be about PTSD. It's going to be called the Open Eyes Podcast, because open eyes is a very important message to me, and I think if a lot of people opened up their eyes and were just more receptive, life would be a lot better. And a lot of the things that I say, I'm saying to myself because they help me. So understand that I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I'm doing great and I'm here to help people do great. No, I'm here to share my story, and I really, really want to educate people instead of falling into a hole and acting like there's no way out. I just wanted to I've been all over the place already, and I didn't know I was going to do that, but I just had a tiny little list, literally. Don't judge me. I didn't want to get up and get a new piece of paper, and this was all I had in front of me. But I just wanted to say that for some reason, when I was working 60 hours a week, my brain was on full blast. Maybe it's because it was summertime, I don't know. But every night I had ideas firing out of me all night while I was working with these medical parts. And all night I would just be like clutching my fists together and like my brain, squeezing my brain shut. No, because I was at work and I couldn't do any of the things that I was dreaming and knowing and having so much passion for, and like, oh, this video is gonna be such a good idea, and I can't wait to talk about this about Julian and Jenna, and I can't wait to make cooking videos like Julian and make Jenna Marbles jean chair, which I'm working on. You will see that video soon. I would have all these ideas at work and just sit there, and if it was too good of an idea to let go that I wouldn't want to forget, I would stop what I was doing and write it in my notes. And my notes were full of ideas of what I wanted to talk about on my podcast and make videos about. So that was like my crutch to lean back on, like, okay, well, once I finally have time to make videos and start my podcast, I'll just be able to go into my notes and start. And like, oh, okay, I'll do this video today and then do this video next week, and I'll have all of these video outlines to just go off of. So once I started slacking and totally just like trying to mentally take care of myself these past few months, because now I work part-time as a janitor, for some reason I still haven't felt like I had enough time to, like, I've been mentally getting better, but that's all I've really had time to do every day, to try to make sure that I'm, you know, still improving and that I'm not going under again, and that I know that, you know, I can start making videos at one point and I don't have to rush myself, because being a YouTuber, it gets like weirdly stressful. I don't know how to explain that. If you watch YouTubers a lot, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But it gets to the point where like you don't know what you want to make, and you don't know what other people want you to make, and you shouldn't ever be hung up on what other people want you to make or when. And so I don't want to become that YouTuber who's like obsessively making stuff when I am too burnt out physically and mentally. So even though I knew I had time to make videos and I could have, I just wasn't there yet. And sadly, about 3 weeks ago, I think, I lost everything. It was probably actually over a month ago. I'm really bad with time. But yeah, my phone, it wasn't turning back on at all. And thank God I have somebody very close to me who helped me fix it. If you're watching this, thank you very much. But he was not able to help me get all my lost stuff, because nothing could help me get my stuff that I never backed up, because I'm kind of an idiot sometimes. I was like crying and being such a baby because I lost so many things. I even had songs that I was writing that are just gone. So that put a huge damper on my like video making process, and me now, my podcast, I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I really want to get my mental state together enough to where I feel like, I don't know, I have faith in myself. So I just need to keep having faith in myself. I always keep comparing myself to other YouTubers, and I know it's so bad to compare myself, because that's what makes things quite worse for me, is when I compare. But one day I aspire to be like D'Angelo Wallace and Brandy TV. I want to be more like them, where I'm just unapologetically myself and not having anxiety and depression all the time. But I can't say that, because I am my own unique person, and I do struggle with anxiety and depression, and I do struggle with having self-confidence, and I cannot be like D'Angelo Wallace or Brandy TV, because I am me. So I don't know how important that message is to you, but that's very important to me, and it's something that is slowly resonating in my mind. And it may be taking way longer for me than it does other people to have self-confidence, which is usually simple as a human, I feel like. I only say that because I just feel like I've met so many people who just like never even think about anxiety, you know? They're like, they don't overthink things. That's just how their life is. It's unusual to start realizing how different I am. Not just comparing myself to others, but just seeing it in others. Seeing that they aren't walking around as a shell sometimes, wondering what other people are thinking. You know, it's a very intense headspace to be in, if that makes any sense. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I am not a normal influencer. I don't even ever think I can be an influencer, but I really, really have a feeling about YouTube and how passionate it makes me and how much it has helped me to watch YouTubers. And then just how crazy inspiring it is that I actually started making videos. I still can't believe that I have had that confidence and now I am confident in talking to a camera. It's very unusual when you first do it, if you ever even decide to do it. Talking to a camera is unusual. I plan to keep trudging on and hoping that bullying doesn't stop me, because I have had some issues with that in the past, and mentally it's not good, but I think showing people that I can be strong and I can get through all this, that they can too, because it really, really hurts to see my friends give up. Even if we weren't that close, it is the most painful thing ever to know that they were in that much pain and they ended their own life. So if you are deciding to subscribe to me, I ask you to give me patience, and I ask you to not judge me, because I'm coming from a space of not judging you, and I am coming from a space of knowing that I'm not normal and knowing that I can be judged very, very easily. I just need you to understand that I may need breaks and I may not have videos soon. I may need to work on some things and think about some things that are going on in my life right now and figure out how I'm editing, because that's a big issue right now. With my hand, editing on my phone is crap, and I have attempted to edit on my laptop, but it's just so confusing right now because I don't even remotely understand anything I'm looking at. So I just need to gain that confidence, and yeah, having very minimal support really helps. And I thank you all for watching, and if you've made it this far, sorry I rambled so much, I don't even know what I've said. If your head can get scary like mine, just know that being aware of it is the best start to getting better. And don't compare yourself to others, because that doesn't help. I really wish I could stop doing that. I have, even though I lost all my video ideas, I still have a lot of ideas, and I already immediately, once I lost them, I started to write more down and remember old ones, and I think it's honestly good that I lost it. I lost all my old ideas, because a lot of them were, you know, I think me trying to be someone I'm not, and me, first of all, just thinking I can do videos that I'm not sure I can do mentally. So we'll see where my channel goes in the next year. I really want to get better at this. So, and by this I mean life, but also YouTube. So thank you for people who have subscribed, and the next video you will see will be the Jenna Marbles jean chair, which I am, it's honestly a monstrosity right now. It looks weird and creepy, and that's gonna be the couch in my living room, because I'm a super weirdo and I don't have a couch in my living room, and it's really awkward to have anyone come over because they don't have anywhere to sit. So instead of getting a couch, I'm going to literally make a jean couch. Jean chair couch. Jean. It's gonna look like stuffed legs are cradling you when you sit in it. It's gonna be really weird. and I'm a very weird person, so if you enjoy weird people, please subscribe. Thanks, guys. Turn on notifications if you want to see that Gene Chair video, because it's gonna be pretty interesting. And I normally end my videos with saying, have a good day, good night, good evening, and honestly it sounds pretty weird because good day, good night, good evening, night and evening are the same thing. I don't know why I started saying that, but it started to come out at the end of my videos and then it just sounded good, so I kept saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. So have a good day, good night, good evening, bye. It hasn't gone. One thing that that PTSD really, oh god, let me try that again. So before we end here, I just wanted to say, because of all the struggles I've been going through, I have started a Patreon, which I don't understand at all, but I have it, so I'll link it in the description below, and I'll put it here, I guess. And then I also have been doing Twitch streams, which has been really fun, but I don't have any like video game console or any games or really experience playing games very much. So right now I'm just doing art on there, and I've been sewing and showing you guys me making the Jenna Marbles chair while live streaming. So I will link that below as well. And then also I started an OnlyFans, which has literally helped me buy groceries multiple times. So while trying to figure out how to make money, that has been one way that actually helped me make a little tiny bit of money. If you're interested in that, I will link that below. And thank you so much if you made it this far. You're freaking rad. Another thing that's been helping me is realizing what has caused me to have all of these symptoms of depression and anxiety. When I was